Hi, welcome to the PhD Journey Unplugged Podcast. My name is Dr. Sarah Gordon. I'm the host of this podcast. And tonight we are going to be talking about community and camaraderie. And I'm naming this episode Sharing the Lane because I see a lot of examples of community and positive energy and people encouraging each other and exercising together at the pool, believe it or not. So I thought I would just spend some time tonight talking about that and talk about how important that is for our mental health. Now, before I get started, I'd just like to remind my listeners if you've been listening to me from the beginning, then you kind of know my story. But if you're tuning in for the first time tonight, first, I just want to remind everybody that this information is for general purposes only and shouldn't be considered professional advice. This is information that I share based on my personal experiences as a doctoral student. I learned a lot of lessons during the PhD journey, and after I graduated, there was kind of this pause and this space where I really took some time to reflect. And I thought I would use this podcast as a platform to help other people, either going through a PhD or going through hard things and setting goals and high expectations for yourself, whatever it is that you're going through in your life. I thought that this would be a good platform to talk about that based on my own experiences. So, with that said, tonight I just want to talk about how important it is to build a sense of community. Now, let me tell you, when I started my doctoral journey, it was August of 2020, and it was during COVID, and the program was online. It's called asynchronous learning, and all the coursework and all the interactions were through a platform called Blackboard. So when I opened up the first class and did my introduction and wrote my first discussion posts, I realized it was a very one-dimensional academic experience. It wasn't like sitting in a classroom with classmates around you. There wasn't a teacher in the front of the room. Didn't have the opportunity to raise your hand and ask questions with each other and have a lively, vibrant debate, in a classroom. It was very one-dimensional. It was write discussion posts, respond to classmates to their discussion posts, write a lot of writing, basically, write assignments and papers. And I thought to myself, you know, this is not the most optimal way, at least for me to learn. I just enjoy people and I enjoy a much more dynamic experience in life and making connections with people and asking people, questions and just valuing the opinion of other people as I learn and grow myself. So right away, I decided to build a sense of community within the program. I launched a Facebook group for the doctoral students in the program and just started reaching out to people to build a sense of community. And, we really needed each other. What I learned was it wasn't just about me needing it. We needed each other. Now, we didn't really necessarily help each other with the coursework, but we just had each other. We knew that we were there for each other. We supported each other. We encouraged each other. And it just added so much depth to the program. So if you're in a PhD program and you're feeling, sorry, that's my dog behind me tonight. Um, if you're feeling a little isolated in school and you're struggling with feeling alone in the journey, my suggestion to you is to reach out to other people and to build a sense of community, to take small steps and just, make connections. It will improve your experience so much. I don't know how to say it. I mean, through the 5 years, I would have gotten through the program, but I enjoyed it so much more making connections with my classmates. So sometimes you have to build your community when your community when it doesn't exist. And it didn't exist for us in asynchronous learning. I mean, quite frankly, some of our professors really weren't even available. That just wasn't the expectation of the course. It was considered self-learning and self-guided, and so that wasn't even a requirement. Now, some professors did offer office hours, did make themselves available, and that was great. It added so much to the experience in learning, but others, no. So having a sense of community really helped. And I think that's such an important thing to talk about when I talk about my PhD journey is building that sense of community, having that camaraderie with classmates and creating something that just wasn't there. And then, you know what? When we graduated and we crossed the finish line, we've been there to cheer each other on. I mean, I have a friend who's still, still in it, and I will be there at that finish line for you. If you're listening, you know who you are. I'm going to be there for you. I promise. It just makes everything so much more enjoyable and just to spread your love and your kindness to one another. We all struggled going through the program. We all had different things going on in our lives. And that's the way life works. We are social beings. Humans need social connections. When you think about times if you feel a little isolated, sometimes it ends up going down a path of depression and it can really impact your mental health. So you really want to get yourself, on episode 29, I had Laura Rossetti back on the show talk about her experiences in Kona. It's a great episode if you haven't had a chance to listen to it. So many great wisdoms from her. And she said something so profound. She said, if you find yourself in a valley, get yourself out of it. Smile, talk positive, do whatever you need to do to get out of it as quickly as you can. Because the longer you stay there, the more it just wears you down. And I think, in my personal experiences, reaching out to other people and having social connections really helps you in a positive way. Don't isolate yourself if you're in school. Don't isolate yourself at work. Don't isolate yourself in your life. Put yourself out there and make connections with people. Start small. It could be at the drive-through where you get your coffee or your latte in the morning and you just say to the nice person at the window, "Hey, thank you. How's your day? How are you doing today?" It really can be that simple. It could, if you're ready for more, join a group, join some type of group. Find people, like-minded people that share similar interests that you have. I learned a Bible verse this week. I believe it's Proverbs 27:17. A friend of mine mentioned it to me. Iron sharpens iron. And I thought, wow, what does that mean? It sounds so profound. And what it means is that you find people and friends in your life that make you better, that sharpen you, that make you the best version of yourself. If you're in communities and connections where it feels heavy and it's draining you and it's negative, move on. Those aren't your people. Find positive friends, people who encourage you to be the best version of yourself, people who make you better, stronger, whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish in your life, that sharpen you and you sharpen them and you help each other grow and live with positive feelings in your life and positive vibes, and you try and you work hard every day never to give up and be the best version of yourself. So, really, when I thought about this talking to you tonight, it started with me sitting at the pool. I love to swim laps. I swim, as often as I possibly can. I swim with people 30 years younger than me. I've swam with older people, 10, 15 years older than me. What I've noticed at the pool is that, okay, I'm in the lane by myself sometimes, but the people around me, we high five each other, we smile at each other, and the water. When you swim in the water, I can feel the movement of the water from the person in the lane next to me. We're sharing the lane together. We're sharing an experience together. And it feels so great. I mean, perhaps it's a little bit of a solitary sport, lap swimming, but it's really not. The lifeguard is watching you, the movement of the water from everybody in the pool. When you get out of the pool, smile at people. hey, how was your day? You'll find that, a lot of people are very receptive to being talked to have a conversation with. At the pool I swim at, we happen to have a really nice, I guess you could call it like a jacuzzi that people sit in after they swim. And it just was so fun the other night. There was like, a half dozen people in there, age probably 18 to early 70s. And everybody was just talking, having wonderful conversation. One of my friends, he's a lifeguard, he's 20. Remember, I'm 59. And we always have a really wonderful connection. And we talk, it's just he's just such a nice person. I've always enjoyed communicating with him. And we're sitting in the hot tub. He just got a really cool tattoo on his shoulder. It's a big tiger. It looks amazing. And he said he got it for his birthday. And we just started to talk about our birthdays. Guess what? You probably can guess it. We have the same birthday. Now, that's the kind of magic that happens. And that was a great moment. We just both we couldn't believe it and we were so excited about it. And that's just the type of magic that happens when you put yourself out there and you talk to people and you make connections and you create a sense of community and you allow yourself to be open and perhaps even a little vulnerable. Sometimes if you just sit down in some place where you're at and you meet somebody and I don't know, sometimes you can just tell that person needs to share. Maybe they're going through something in their life and they open up a little bit and maybe you've gone through the same thing in your life, okay? And you can offer some encouragement to that person. And you know what? When you do things like that, it just seems to come back to you at moments in your life when you need it. It's like the energy that you put out into the universe. A lot of times it comes back to help guide you as well. I say all the time, we're more connected than we realize. And when we open ourselves up to having a sense of community in our lives, however you want it to be for yourself, it could be through athletics, it could be through your work, it could be through your church or your synagogue or your place of worship. It can be, really the triathlon community. It can really look like a lot of different things depending on your personal interests. And it doesn't have to be huge. It could be a small group of people and or as large as you want. The point is to have it in your life and have it in a positive way where you feel safe and you feel like you can be you and you can be the best version of yourself in that space. That's really what it's all about. So I just wanted to get on here tonight and share those thoughts with you. They were just on my heart tonight, and I thought, I've every time I go to the pool, I think about it. It's such a special place for me. One, because I love to swim, and two, I see this positive energy that crosses all age groups, and I think there's just something so magical to that. And I also saw it in my PhD journey when I created a sense of community there, and it just kind of took off, and my friends, we all kind of it grew together as a group. Those are the examples I'm giving you tonight. I'm sure there's a lot more examples that we could go through, but I just want to encourage you that whatever it is that you love to do, whatever it is, maybe you're just a little scared to take that one step forward. You know, just do it. Just go. Just one small step forward. Go to your local library. Go find some type of group, especially if you're suffering, if you feel like down, right? The winter. I don't know where you live, but where I live, it's getting dark early, very early, and it's getting cold. And it's a great opportunity to sit in your house and isolate yourself. But push yourself to get out there and keep connections. Honestly, there's a lot of online opportunities too, educational opportunities where you can be in Zoom groups and things like that. So if you can't get out of your house, there's also opportunities to be in communities through all the wonderful technology that actually grew out of COVID. I mean, if you think about COVID, COVID isolated us so much, right? But what grew out of that? It grew out of these wonderful platforms to connect. Humans need community, and that's a example right there is how Zoom just took off during COVID because humans need that type of connection. is so good for our mental health. And if you enjoy things that are physically, physical activity is so good for your physical health and so good for your social emotional health. So go out there, share the lane, whether you're out there cycling with friends, swimming, sharing a lap lane, whatever your lane is, go out there, have some fun, make some connections, value community, spread kindness, and just go out and be the best version of yourself that you can possibly be. So that's it for tonight. I just wanted to say if you didn't have a chance to listen to episode 30, it's the one episode before this. I had on my friend John Dougherty, who had a 30-year law enforcement career. I met him in a karate community, and he's a poet now, amongst other things that he's involved in. But his journey is so interesting, and it was just so fun to interview him and to hear how he kind of went from law enforcement, which is a very procedure-oriented profession, to poetry, which is a very creative outlet of expression. So it was interesting to hear how that journey evolved for him. And then my next guest is coming on for the next episode. It's my friend Lori Rowe. And not only is she a yoga instructor and just a wonderful resource in our community for our seniors at our local senior center, she does so much for our community. She is now also very much involved in something called sound healing. And I really want to learn about that more. I don't know that much about it. I think there's a lot of value in it for mental health and for managing stress and for our overall health and well-being. So she will be on next. I'm super excited to have her on the show and to share with you about what sound healing is. So that's it for tonight. I hope everybody is safe, having a wonderful evening. This is Friday night for me, and November 14th. And I wish everybody a blessed night, a blessed weekend. Be safe out there, and I will see you again soon. All righty. Good night. Thank you, and God bless.